Welcome back to the Brohio Podcast Show.
We're back.
We're here. We're doing it. We're so happy you guys are here with us tonight.
Another glorious week.
This afternoon.
Whatever time you're listening to us.
You don't know what time it is, what time we're doing this.
It could be 4 months from now before you hear this. Who knows? We
might not even be in the same location right now.
We may not be alive by the time you listen to this.
Hopefully not.
Hopefully not.
Just being into all this, finally.
It's about time.
It would be the end game.
It would.
Yeah. I went to the makeup store today. I went to Ulta.
Oh God, I was at Sephora.
What the fuck, man?
Almost a little over an hour.
They got spoons in there with stuff on them that
you could taste it.
These women,
the makeup.
I did. What is it? What did I eat? I ate makeup while I was there. I always eat like shampoo and stuff.
If you didn't want us to eat it, you shouldn't make the liquid eyeliner look so good.
I ate highlighters when I ate. So my wife's like, "What? Did you just eat that?" I'm like, "You got to know. You got to know if this is an animal byproduct."
It's called Cocoa Bliss. How could I not?
Right. I tried it. I'm walking around. They got hair curlers in there that look like dildos.
It's pretty sweet.
They got little knobs and bubbles on them. And then you take a further step. I was on the wall looking at hair dryers. They got $300 hair dryers in there.
It's crazy.
How much hair you got a fucking Bigfoot in your basement that you dry him off once a week? You got a $300 hair dryer.
I can't imagine it working that much better than a normal price
I'd
one.
shave that big nasty bitch. It's what if someone had so much ass and pubic hair they had to have a $300 hair dryer?
I would assume that's what it would be for.
Absolutely.
There's no other explanation.
If you've never been to the Brohio Podcast Show before, we're terrible. We're awful. We're off the cuff.
Yeah.
We're rude. We're crude. We're snapping necks. We're cashing checks.
Some bad dudes. That's what we do.
He's Rob Dog. I'm the delicious Nickalicious. Just get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
We're going to keep it funny. We're going to keep it light. We're going to keep it funky. We're going to keep it fresh.
Spicy.
See how fast I rolled that all together?
Yeah, that's like you're planning that.
No script. No script at all.
No. You had that in your head the whole time?
No, I didn't.
Patreons!
Yeah. Let's talk about some Patreon subscribers.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for your Patreon pledges. I would like to make sweet love to all your names right now, to our new patrons.
Yeah.
We have a Stacy Isaac.
Thank you.
She's got a couple C's and a couple E's in her name. I wonder if she's had a couple D's before.
Oh!
That's mean. That's terrible. We love you, Stacy. Thank you for your Patreon pledge.
Thank you. And next we got Justin Tinkham. Tinkham.
Tinkham.
Thank you, Mr. Tinkham.
That was my nickname for my dick in college, was Tinkham. Ashley Preston.
Thank you very much.
The wonderful thing about Ashley Preston, she was at the original Brohio Podcast Show.
Woo!
She was wonderful.
Thank you very, very, very much.
She loved us. She took pictures with us.
We loved her.
She kept my wife company. They're friends on Facebook now.
Yeah.
She's getting my children if I ever die in a car accident. She doesn't know that. Now she does. And also, thank you to Jesse McDowell.
Thank you
Jesse.
very much.
And I'm going to let Rob take this next.
Edwin Hernandez Gunn.
Hey guys, this is Mandy and Melissa from Moms and Murder, a true crime podcast featuring two moms who think they're funny.
Nicholas
Trust
Gray.
us, guys. We
Thank
are.
you, Mr. Gray.
Join us each week as we discuss both the infamous and unfamiliar stories in the world of true crime.
I have
You
not.
can check us out on our website at momsandmurder.com and also connect with us
And
on
I
Instagram,
masturbated
Twitter,
when I was
and
done.
Facebook.
We release new
I've
episodes
gotten a dildo
on
shoved up my
Tuesdays,
ass
so we
before, but I
hope you
didn't
check
watch
us out.
this movie.
Yay! Woo. We're talking about our live show
I'm
April
Liz.
14th at
And like the guys
Roosters
from the
in
Brohio
Milford,
podcast,
Ohio. It's
I like
called
a
Man, is it going to be fun.
It's
So I
called The
started
Bad
interviewing
Boys
my
of
neighbors
Bomb
about their
Pod
haunted
and
homes and
Tracy.
got
With Tracy,
way
she's
too
one half
paranoid.
of Hillbilly
Check out my
Horror Stories with
podcast,
Jerry.
Ghosts
The best
and
ever.
the Burbs,
We're going to be there with
about the
Justin
people of
Rimmel
Wellesley,
from
Massachusetts,
Mysterious
and the ghosts
Circumstances. You can
and
find him on our
monsters who
closed
haunt them.
group, Butt Chuggers Anonymous.
A gorgeous hunk of man.
Yeah, you got to know the secret word to get in. I'm not telling you this episode. Go back and listen to the old ones.
You little assholes. Yeah, listen to all of them.
If you do a Google search of Eventbrite, that's Event, Brite, with the word Brohio with it, you will find the landing page for our live show. It's $10. Wonderful chicken wings. They've got the best garlic hot sauce on this side of the Mississippi.
We'll make it worth every single dollar of that.
Yes, it's
$10.
near Cincinnati. It's gonna be wild now, folks. We didn't have any podcast promos this week, so I reached out to our listeners. I said, "Hey, if you got a home business, if you are someone that runs your own business, send us a promo. We're gonna read it for you.
We love our Brohio Nation people.
We do. And if you do have your own business and you want it to come on we'll air it, and we don't charge you. because we are cheap and easy, and
we're just fun.
We keep our socks on, and we will do anything for $20. First, we have Compass Administrative Services. This is from Ashley Baxley. She's doing all kinds of stuff there at Compass Administrative Services. She's doing data entry, research, calendar management. So what you do is you pay her, and then she fucking just takes care of you. Like
she slings the big dick.
Like she's your mom. She makes it all happen. You should go to dry cleaners. She's organizing all your files, account overhauls. She's doing it all for you. So check her out. That's Compass Administrative Services. She's on the Facebook. Go give her a page a like. And also, we have I'm hoping I'm saying this right. This is our friend Amy Marie Baldwin. She's from South Wales. That's not in America. That is in the United Kingdom. And England is different than South Wales. Apparently, I fucked it up earlier in the week. She let me have it. She said, "Motherfucker, I'm from South Wales." And I said, I'm sorry. I
just consider all those places the same.
Don't get it. She's like,
it's Britain.
She's like, it's me saying you're
all
from
all of it's Britain. We're going to get shit on. She's going to fucking kill us.
I know. But she's got her own startup there at Hearsay Studios Ltd. They're a small indie-based game developing company. They're based out of South Wales, and you can check them out at www.hearsay, that's HERESY, studiosltd.com. They're also on all the social media pages. So if you need a game developed, she does some incredible CGI and animation work. You can check her out. She's funny. She shows us all kinds of awesome food from over the pond that we didn't know. But she made some kind of she made a pie the other night, but it had meat and shit on it. I don't know what it was.
It was the most English thing I've ever seen before.
Mine was so hard.
It was some type of a meat pie.
It was. And God knows how me and Rob just like to bury our faces in meat pie every opportunity we get.
It's delicious.
It's time for my funny article of the week, Rob.
Okay.
And just so everybody knows, last week, if you were here, you learned about a fucking party goat.
Oh, yeah.
He was snorting coke, drinking whiskey. He got taken by the animal services.
Kitty's going crazy.
She's chasing the ball. She's chasing a little turd nugget that got out of her box. She's chasing around the room here. But the goat got adopted.
Yay.
So, yes,
that's awesome.
He was adopted by like a satanic cult. They're going to kill it, but nonetheless, the goat was adopted. And that was from our last week's episode. But this week, to save you the question of Googling, how long can you go without pooping? We did it for you. The question is sure to come to your mind after reading about a bizarre case out of the UK where Essex police are on hashtag poo watch and they're tweeting about it. We had a couple people that were really upset. We haven't talked about poop in a while. So here we are.
Man, I didn't know it was that appealing.
I know. Everybody poops. This is after a suspected drug dealer believed to have drugs hidden in his body has now for 21 days. 21 days, Rob, refused to poop.
I can't go 21 minutes.
The BBC reports the 24-year-old was arrested January 17th and has been under supervision since then with the department's Operation Raptor team. That's why he's not pooping. There's fucking raptors in the room. Operation Raptor team that arrested him providing updates like this one tweeted Wednesday, day 2 and 1/3 weeks for our man on poo watch. Still no movements / items to report. He will remain with us until Friday when we are back at court, where we will be requesting a further 8 days should he not produce anything before that hearing. So it sounds like he keistered the drugs.
Right.
That's called a prison pocket. That's when you're trying to smuggle drugs around an institution. You just cram whatever you have straight up your fucking asshole.
Right in the cornhole.
And I've dealt with people at the prison that shove razor blades up their asses.
Oh, God.
And I'm like, hey, buddy, you're more of a man than I am. That takes some fucking bravery right there. Last Friday, they tweeted that the man is being watched by doctors and was in fine health at the time. Per the BBC, police decided to keep the public informed of the man's bowel movements in an effort to quash any illusions that the drug dealing is glamorous.
Please tell us if he poops.
Glamorous, glamorous. The man is reportedly a couple of days away from what a police rep believes to be the record for a suspect not pooping. 23 days.
Man.
23 days. As for the original question about how long one can go, and answer-ish, the Cleveland Clinic says to seek medical help if it's been longer than 3 weeks. A 16-year-old British girl died In 2013, after the Telegraph reports she did not have a bowel movement for 8 fucking weeks. God damn.
That's rough.
Listen, I pride myself my entire life on being able to hold a shit for a really long time.
I wouldn't want to live like that.
But the older I get, when I try and hold these poops for a long time, it tears my body up like I'm shitting out a rhinoceros afterwards. It just...
Man,
there's nothing you can do about it. Sometimes I don't like public restrooms. I don't like sitting down the toilet and reading on the stall, Hail Satan, shit like that scares me. I don't know what happens in there. And there's that one guy on YouTube. He's not that hard to find. He takes a video camera and he walks into public bathrooms, okay? And he just walks around and he pisses on everything in the bathroom. On the paper towel rolls, on the counter, on the wall. He's nuking everything in there, and he doesn't record his wiener. He records about 6 inches in front of his wiener, so all you see is the pee stream.
You gotta stay a gentleman.
And he goes into Target bathrooms, he goes into Walmart bathrooms.
I love it.
Don't know where he's from, but dude, he's saturating everything with urine. So anytime next time you step into the bathroom, you touch something wet, think about the serial pee-pee guy on YouTube, about what he's possibly doing. We had a U-turn this week. Okay?
Oh, we had a hard U-turn. Again, this is becoming a regular occurrence for us. We're going with things and then we hate it and decide to change it.
I didn't hate it.
Luckily, we're not doing how we used to and pump out like, hey, this is what we're doing this week. Yeah. And then we renege on that.
We told the closed group we were going to do Hillary Clinton, like her death list, because she's killed a bunch of people. I read about it.
Allegedly.
She's a fucking murderer, okay? There's no way around it. She's killed a bunch of people.
It's hard to go into something like that being apolitical. And we're not all about politics.
No, that's the thing. We are not political at all. I don't know what a Democrat is. I don't know what a Republican is.
You know, one of them's an elephant, one of them's a donkey or something like that.
I know there was a Watergate scandal a few years back, like 94-ish, where Bill Clinton and Ronald Reagan had sex with that intern. Is that the one we're talking about?
I believe that's the gist of it.
I didn't have sexual relations with that intern. Well,
she sucked his soul out of his body. That poor guy looks horrible now.
Yeah, she did.
But anywho, we completely derailed from that, and we decided to go with something a little bit...
The Circleville Letters.
Circleville Letters. This is a really cool one.
One of the most mysterious stories you will ever hear.
Yes.
Not a widely covered topic. Generation Y covered it, but no one really, any big podcasts besides that have covered it. But I promise this is going to be funnier than Generation Y. Those guys they're up on their fucking research. They do a good job.
They out research us every day of the week.
But we're going to make you laugh.
We're trying to make it entertaining for you.
Because this story's about a lady that drives a bus, so you probably know what she talks like.
Large Marge.
Mary. Her name's Mary.
It's a good one. It's a nice little mystery.
Yeah.
Mixed in with some true crime and some just all around sexiness.
Right.
And a poor guy that got locked up for a while.
All right, Rob, let me take you back to 1976.
I'm ready to go there.
Let me tell you about 1976 was a leap year.
It's 10 years before I was born.
I don't know what the fuck that means. What is a leap year? That's a short one, right?
Yeah, that's the short one.
Okay. Jimmy Carter was elected.
Is it the short one?
I mean, I can tell you all about the short one, but we're not going to do it on the radio here, on the interwaves.
Why are we so stupid? Last week we didn't know how many hips we had. This week we don't know what a leap year is.
Hey, baby girl, I don't know how many hips you got, but I'll break every single one of them with this dick. Jimmy Carter was the president. He was elected president. Apple was started by Steve Jobs. Him and Bill Gates, they met at a bar, and they decided they're going to start making computers. And they snorted coke off each other's assholes. And
I hope that's what happened.
That's how Bill Gates died.
R.I.P.
Do you think Bill Gates listens to the Ohio podcast show? Of course I listen. They're recording it on a Microsoft product.
Oh, man.
In Circleville, Ohio, it's about 25 miles outside of Columbus. All the people from Circleville call it Round Town. Or as
Pound Town?
As I like to call it, Pound Town.
Stole your joke, sorry.
No, it's okay. There's a lot of people I know that are actually from Circleville. I work with some guys from Circleville.
Okay.
So I was asking him today, I said, hey, what's Circleville like? And he doesn't talk that much. He said, it's a real piece of shit. All right, man.
Yeah, you're a lot closer to Columbus than what I am for work.
I said, have you ever heard about the Circleville Letters before? He said, I said Circleville, a piece of shit. All right, man. Sorry. But it's a smaller town. You got about 14,000 people there. A little slow living, honest people. It's the kind of place where you didn't back then. You didn't have to lock your doors. And little Timmy, he could take his dog to the creek, and he wouldn't have to worry about being butt fucked in a tent in the woods by a homeless guy named Drew Johnson. Is that something you're worried about?
Nowadays, yes.
That's something I'm worried about. Let's focus on a woman named Mary. My name's Mary Gillespie.
Yeah, I would say that's probably inaccurate.
Mary Gillespie. Why does she talk like that? Because she's a fucking bus driver for the school. And anytime you think about a bus driver for the school, you think about the lady from The Simpsons. No. Yeah. That was Otto, right?
That was Otto.
Otto.
Yeah.
I think about his aunts. That's Bart Simpson's aunts.
Yeah.
That kind of reminds me of a bus driver, a female bus driver. Mary, she liked to smoke no filter Camels, and she drank Miller Lite, and she could shoot ping pong balls out of her snapper hard enough to flip a light switch up.
That's what we all aim for. That's goals right there.
She was hot, Mary. She could clench her butt cheeks together so tight that she would create enough friction she could heat the whole fucking house. She was a bad bitch.
I like that.
She was the baddest bitch.
I need one of them.
Mary, quite contrary, she started receiving some letters in the mail that accused her of having an affair with the superintendent of the school district.
And let's even backtrack a little bit here.
Okay.
It wasn't just Mary as well that was receiving these letters. I think there were probably close to 1,000 letters throughout this time that was being sent out. Everybody was receiving them around town, pretty much just saying that they would get threatening letters, and these letters that they would get were handwritten. They would have no return address, and they would all have block letters.
Yeah, they would be postmarked from Columbus as well.
Yeah, nothing distinguishing, telling who did it. But Mary and Ron Gillespie kind of got the brunt of the letters, and
they got the blunt end of that dildo, didn't they?
which we'll get into.
You're not supposed to stick the end with the balls in your ass, you dumbass. That's what they did. They got the broad end of that one for sure.
Yeah, they did, definitely.
So, like I said, Mary, she got this letter in the mail. It was accusing her of having an affair with the superintendent of the school district.
Right.
Now, if I'm the superintendent of the school district, I am the top dick at the top of the pyramid.
Yeah.
I'm smashing a school nurse, something, an English teacher. I'm not saying there aren't hot bus drivers out there, but my bus driver when I was in elementary school, her name was Mrs. Thompson, and I'm pretty sure she had a nutsack. I remember she wears shorts, and her legs were very bushy.
Ooh.
And I wondered why her legs were bushy like that. And I ultimately decided as a third grader that she had a scrotal sack, just like me. That was the determination and that's when I,
God bless her,
decided on doing a podcast with you, was in the third grade as well.
Hey, you know what? Whatever works.
I got a marble stuck in my nose in the third grade. Now, like you said, the letters, they were postmarked from Columbus with no return address.
Yeah.
Mary, I think she was quite wrong for hiding these letters from her husband, Ron.
Right. So she completely just shut it down, and she wasn't acknowledging that they were saying anything. She was taking these letters. She would, after she received the first one, she would continue to get kind of letters that were similar to the first one, which pretty much says, hey, you're having an affair with the superintendent. You need to stop.
You need to quit.
Or everybody's going to find out about it. I'm going to ruin you practically.
Tell it on the rooftops.
Right, exactly. And she's just hiding them.
One, like we said, she wasn't very forthcoming about the letters with her husband. This is something that if I was experiencing it right off the rip, I would say, hey, let's nip this in the butt. Here's what I got going on, sweetheart. I'm not cheating on you. She's very adamant that she was not having an affair with her husband, and that's kind of like her motive for hiding the letters. She said, "I'm going to hide these letters because this is just stupid. This is not true."
Right.
So the letters kept coming, and she kept hiding them. One letter, this is verbatim what it said. The letter says, "I know where you live. I've been observing your house and know you have children. This is no joke. Please take it serious." So these letters are very ominous. A lot of the letters were going to people from different races, different nationalities, different walks of life, old people, young people, but they were all really almost like violent type letters.
Right. Yeah, they were very threatening, and I think from what I remember reading is that the longer they went on, the crazier they got.
Right. But then Ron Gillespie, her husband,
old Ronnie,
he received a similar letter in the mail spilling the beans about the alleged affair. In this letter, it said if he did not stop his wife's affair.
And keep in mind, she was hiding the letters.
Yeah.
So he wasn't aware of anything even going on.
Yeah. And in his letter that he received, it says, if she does not stop her affair, bad things would happen and Ron would be in danger. Ronnie, baby, I know you got the letters, and I got the letters too, and I just want you to know I love you so much, and I wouldn't do this to you. I know it's been about 12 or 13 years since we had sex, baby, Ronnie, baby cakes, but I know you remember that one night that you're the only one that knows how I like to be choked, and you were there the night that you choked me, and I fell off of you, and I hit my head on the nightstand. I knocked myself out and shit my pants. And then you gave me that little nickname, Litterbox, because you said I had a shitty kitty.
Shit.
So bad, isn't it?
The shitty kitty. You know just how far to shove the Marlboros up my ass.
Ronnie, baby, watch. You know what I can do with the ping pong balls. Don't read the mails. Don't open the mails anymore. Who's your shitty kitty?
Such a good pet name.
I gotta go outside. I need more beer.
So, of course, during this time, Mary's getting really paranoid.
I wonder why.
Of course, she just got aired out for having an affair, which she still alleges that she was not having.
You air out that shitty kitty.
Yeah, they're pretty much saying that, hey, we're watching your house. We know you have kids. We're pretty much watching everything you do. So she's being hyper aware of everything that's going on. She's trying to watch out when she's going to the store. She's watching what she's seeing, which all the people are acting crazy.
Yep.
So it's kind of a scary situation to be
really
put
is. In the entire and worded, I don't want to say they were almost had it under wraps a little bit. I think word was traveling around town that there were some ominous letters going around, but there wasn't necessarily any rumors as to the letters that Mary and Ron were specifically receiving. In 2 weeks after Ron received the first letter, he received a second letter where the writer says, Gillespie, you have had 2 weeks and you've done nothing. This sounds like my mom fucking walking into my room after
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Gillespie, you've had 2 weeks and done nothing. Admit the truth and inform the school board. If not, I will broadcast it on CBs, posters, signs, and billboards until the truth is out.
I love how the first thing he says is CBs. Truckers are going to be like, oh, yeah.
Blue Dog. Hey, this is Blue Dog. I got some information for you, Blue Dog. Come in. Go ahead for Blue Dog. Go ahead. Old Mary Gillespie down the street. She's getting railed out by the superintendent, and I can confirm it. I've confirmed it with everybody, and I want everybody at the truck stop to know. Blue Dog. Over.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Blue Dog. I want to be a trucker so I can have a trucker handle.
Yeah, I don't know what mine would be.
I already know I would be the Road Ranger, no doubt. People don't know about the Road Ranger.
I like Shitty Kitty. Can I have that one?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
Yeah, so he said he's going to go to the CBs, fucking essentially ruining Mary's life by putting it out over the CB radio.
She's going to be a trucker slut.
Because people that talk on CB radios are definitely slaying the puss, for sure. They're wilding out.
Amen.
Now, at this point, this is kind of important here. There was only a very select few that knew about the letters. Well, knew about the letters specifically that Ron...
That the Gillespies were receiving.
And Mary were receiving. Yeah. This was Ron's sister's husband.
Yeah.
His name is Paul Freshour. He's going to become the focal point of this.
He'll be
story.
very important.
He's a player. And then also the other person that knew about it was Paul's sister. So we got Ron's sister knows about it, her husband, Paul, and then Paul's sister. They're the only three people that know. But Paul Freshour is going to be the big player here. And at this point, the number one suspect in their mind, for whatever reason, was Paul Freshour.
Paul, yeah.
They tested their theory by sending him... I had to do some digging on this one because I knew they got pissed off and they sent letters out. The Gillespies did. They're like, okay, we're getting these anonymous letters. We're going to send some anonymous letters. So they sent some anonymous letters to Paul Freshour
in the exact same style that the letters that they had been receiving.
And they didn't do it in necessarily a threatening manner. It's kind of like, hey, we know what you're doing, and if you could, please knock it off because you're fucking creeping everybody out.
Yeah.
But the cool thing was, after they sent the letter, the anonymous letter to Paul, the letters stopped.
Yeah, they did.
For weeks. Game over, right? End of the episode. We appreciate you guys listening to the Ohio Podcast Show.
It's been a short one, but we love you guys. Thank you.
No, this is not over.
Case closed.
We got some twists and turns here. Then August 19th, 1977, Ron received a call that pissed him off.
Oh, Ron's always on a hair trigger.
Ron is Mary's husband.
Yeah.
Ron received a call that pissed him off and pushed him over the edge. They said that...
Yeah, this call is a little bit of a mystery.
Well, I did find this deep in the interwebs as well, that no one knows what the actual conversation was on the phone call. There were people at the house when he was on the phone, and they said that it almost seemed like he was arguing with someone over a meeting spot. So,
okay.
Paul hangs up the phone. No one knows for sure what the phone call was, what was discussed. It was enough that Ron left the house with his revolver, and he was headed to where the caller was. Ron made it a short distance away from his house to a nearby intersection, and then he fucking wrecked into a tree and killed himself.
Yeah. And what makes it fishy, like what's kind of crazy and coincidental about it, is that the letter that Ron received alerting him of it was the 2-week one that you've had 2 weeks and haven't done anything. I think it was that letter where it said, if something doesn't happen, you're going to die practically.
I'm going on the CB.
Yeah,
I'm airing it out.
Yeah, you're going to be deaded. And, he crashes his car and dies. And it gets weirder than that.
It does get weirder because he took his revolver with him. This is Mary's husband, Ron. He took his revolver with him. He wrecks and dies. Authorities arrive to the scene. They find that he has a gun. But then they look at the revolver and they see that there was one round that was discharged. So he did fire one bullet. And if you don't know how a revolver works, you shoot the bullet and then the casing for the bullet stays inside the revolver. It's not like your semi-automatic handguns you have now where
it's not releasing
where the brass flies through the air in the movies and shit.
Yep, it stays in its little 6 housings.
Well, motherfucker, he shot at somebody.
Yep.
Who did he shoot at? What caused him to wreck? Potentially what he was shooting at caused him to wreck, or whoever, maybe the person he was arguing on the phone with knew he was coming that direction and caused the accident. We don't know.
Nobody knows.
It's crazy. It's spoopy almost.
It's very spoopy.
It's so spoopy.
It's mysterious. Oh, hey, Kitty.
No, kitty cat.
She's climbing up here.
So the family, they claim that initially the sheriff declared there was indeed some foul play going on with the accident. He said something happened. Someone caused this accident. We have essentially a murderer on the loose. The series of events was just too coincidental for this to happen. The phone call, the spent round, the uncertainty surrounding the phone call, for it to
it was all very suspicious.
Right. It was not. Yeah. It was too. there was too much happening for him to say that this was not an accident. Then the sheriff recants, and he says that this was indeed an accident. He said there was a murder suspect initially taken into custody. They didn't release the name. They didn't say who it was, but was released without being charged. Now, this is where it gets a little fucked up. It said that during the investigation and the autopsy, it was discovered that Ron was 1.5 times the legal limit, approximately 0.16.
Yeah.
Fucking hammered.
So he was trashed.
He sloshed.
And they said it was like really out of character for him. Like he wasn't like a heavy drinker.
The family said he didn't drink. He never drank.
Yeah.
And that day,
it's like what could have caused him to drink that much and leave?
Yeah. And that day, he had not been drinking. No one saw him drinking. No one said he was boozing. So, which begs the question, was he taking the alcohol rectally? Just like we do here at the Pro Ohio Podcast Show.
I had no idea where that was going, and I'm happy where it went.
Famous for butt chugging. We like to drink Zimas with our ass.
Give me it.
So after Ron died, the letters, they intensified and they multiplied. They maintained their hatred towards Mary. They got a lot more vulgar and they got a lot more violent. So Mary's dealing with the catastrophic death of her husband.
Yep.
And these letters are just getting worse and worse. And Rob, I've said this to you before, I'm a firm subscriber to the fact that where there is smoke, there is fire.
Oh, absolutely.
So, someone's sending these heinous letters about Mary being in an affair.
They know something about something.
Somebody asked the delicious Nicolicious about it, what he thought. I'd say, well, she's fucking somebody else.
She's probably having an affair.
Probably getting her fucking shit pushed in by someone else.
Hey.
Finally, Mary broke down and admitted that she was indeed having an affair with the superintendent.
No way. But let's... Okay. So
Bullshit.
she did, but she didn't. She did. But here's the thing. Yeah. She says that she did have an affair with the superintendent, but that affair did not start until after she had received the letters. So conveniently.
How convenient.
So you know what? If I'm getting letters to my house saying, I know you're having an affair, I'm not going to be like, go to that person and be like, I'm receiving these letters. You know what? We might as well just fucking do it.
Yeah. They think we're doing it. We want to do it. I love you. I know that you can shoot the ping pong balls out of your pussy. I want to learn about the shitty kitty.
I really need the promotion from bus driver to cross guard.
I've been scraping boogers off the back of these bus seats for 20 fucking years, and I'm so tired of it, superintendent. So here's my promise to you. I'm gonna toss your salad so good that you're never gonna want anybody else. I will eat the groceries, baby. Mary, quite contrary.
Oh, Mary, I love you.
And the shitty kitty. There's no cat in the story at all, but we've somehow involved a cat covered in fecal matter.
It's her shitty kitty.
It is hers. Oh, yeah, right. So like we said, she broke down. She admitted that she was having an affair. Surprise, fucking surprise. Like I said, where there's smoke, there's fire. At this point, we are nearly 6 years into this catastrophe. We're in the start of 1976. We're in 1983 now. Whew. The riders stepped their game up. Mary still drove buses for the school. She kept her job. So if that doesn't tell you she's getting railed out by the superintendent, I don't know what does. Along her bus route, she noticed a sign along the road that made violent threats against her daughter. Mary was pissed off. She pulled over to take the sign down. She pulled the bus over. She's going to rip this sign on the fucking ground.
Oh, fuck this.
Yeah. Oh.
I'm not doing this today.
Pull this thing over and ruin your precious field trip. That was a Chris Farley. But the sign, it had a box under it, and there was a string attached from the sign to the box.
Yeah, it's fishy.
This was a booby trap that didn't go off. Yes. There was a set of titties in the box. big hangers, like nasty titties. Like
they were Ron's titties.
They look like 2 eggs hanging from a nail.
Aw.
Jesus God. It's not a nice titty.
It's so sad.
But my thing is, there's not a bad boobie.
Nah.
I'll look at them all.
Yep.
I love all God's children.
Gotta see them all.
It's Sunday, Rob. You gotta see them all.
Booby mom.
Gotta see them all. So she rips the fucking sign down. She finds out that it's booby trap. There's a revolver in the box that was rigged to where whomever grabbed the sign and ripped it out of the ground
and pulled that string,
it would discharge the firearm, thus killing whoever was pulling the sign out of the ground.
Right.
She calls the authorities. The authorities come. They examine the gun, and they see that it does indeed have a serial number that appears it's been half-ass rubbed off.
Yeah, somebody tried to file it down, but didn't really do a substantially good job.
Yeah, and they were able to trace the gun fairly quickly.
Yeah.
To the owner of the firearm.
Oh, man.
Who was it?
It was Mr. Freshour.
Paul.
Old Paulie.
Paul Freshour. The firearm belonged to Paul Freshour, our original suspect.
Yes.
In this catastrophe.
Case closed. Podcast over.
It's over. Thanks for listening, guys, to the Brahio Podcast Show. Listen, rate, subscribe on YouTube.
Yeah.
When he was confronted, Freshour, who had since divorced Ron Gillespie's sister, claimed that the gun had gone missing a long time ago and that he didn't know what had happened to it, denying any involvement in the booby trap. So he said, yes, in fact, this was my gun, but it was stolen out of my garage a long time ago.
Famous last words right there.
Yes.
It was stolen.
At one point, he did take the sheriff to the garage and said, hey, motherfucker, this is where I think from the very beginning, it's very evident that the sheriff had just a raging hard-on for Paul Freshour.
Absolutely.
Like, in his mind, he had it made up that this is the motherfucker doing all this shit.
Oh yeah, and we'll get into some things to tell exactly why he had it out for him.
So the sheriff, he says he's going to put Mr. Freshour up for a handwriting analysis test.
Good Lord.
Right. So normally the way a handwriting analysis goes is they'll say, hey, write down
this sentence, and they'll give you a sentence. Or
they'll give you a phrase, or for instance, they'll give you something from the letter in question. That's kind of like the John Benet Ramsey thing went.
Right, and from there, what they're really looking for, if you don't know, is that you can tell by pen strokes,
pressure on the paper,
where people start their letters and where they end their letters, and even usually if you're writing a sentence, even if you're trying to disguise that, those little subtle details won't change, or they'll go back.
It's hard to seal the deal, and a lot of times, handwriting comparisons and analysis don't hold up that well in court. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. If they did hold up, then Patsy Ramsey would have been in fucking prison.
It's kind of like the polygraph thing.
It didn't happen, though.
Yeah.
So not in this handwriting analysis. The sheriff fucking hands Paul Freshour a letter from
one of the actual letters that was
from the anonymous letter writer. And he says, what I want you to do, Paul, I want you to try and write a letter and make it look exactly like this letter right here. So Paul's thinking, okay, man, Paul seems like a fucking stupid son of a bitch.
Right.
Attorney, what's that?
Walking right into that.
Attorney, that's where you're walking somewhere and then you just spin around real fast and go the other direction. That's attorney. No, he gives him the letter and says, make it look, I want you to write your own letter and make it look exactly like this one. Well, the letters coming in were block letters. Like there was no characteristics or personality to these letters that were written. They were just huge block letters, straight, blocky, very, very easy to duplicate. So naturally, Paul nails it. He makes a letter himself, and it looks just like the one.
Well, congratulations, you got a match.
Yeah, I'd like for you to just draw a straight line. All right, looks good. Guilty.
I want you to, at the end of this paper, I want you to draw a penis. What does your penis look like? The best of your ability, of course.
So He goes in the handwriting analysis, and then at that moment, he decides, this is my guy. After the handwriting analysis, he goes to the garage, shows him where the gun was stolen from. There is no, and Paul, he started a blog after he got out of prison, and we're going to jump ahead here.
The Paul blog.
Yeah, Paul blog. And he said, like, my attorney fucked up. Why would I be subjected to that? And that's absolutely right. He should have never been subjected.
That's red flags everywhere.
I have no confidence in the justice system on that one. They combined the handwriting analysis with the registration on the revolver belonging to Paul, and this was open and shut for the sheriff. And on October 24th, 1983...
My birthday. Woo!
Happy birthday, Rob.
Not 83, though.
Paul went on trial. They only had two pieces of evidence against him. The gun and the fucking handwriting samples. Paul's boss also testified that he was not at work on the day that the booby trap was found. But Paul did have an alibi. I don't know what his alibi was.
Yeah, I didn't see it either.
But as a middle-aged divorced man, he was probably
poon hunting
on the east side of Columbus, trolling for some, looking for some snappers.
He's a poon hound.
Trying to get it done. Yeah. He's a beaver cleaver, if you know what I mean. Call him the beaver cleaver.
He looks like a big teddy bear, too. I like him.
He's walking around looking for some shitty kitty. The alibi was not enough for the jury to find him not guilty. He was found guilty. He was sentenced to 7 to 25 years in prison. Finally, justice was served. Our guy,
he got
was found, convicted. Thank you for listening to the Brian. After he was arrested and taken to prison, he was taken to prison in Lima. He's in the Ohio prison system.
Right.
Which your boy, Delicious Nicolicious, worked in the Ohio prison system for about 4 years. The letters intensified after he was taken to prison.
Right.
So the thing about prison is, in the Ohio system, you were given I can't remember if it's one envelope a month or a couple envelopes, but you get at least one envelope and a stamp given to you every month where you can write to your family or whoever fucking cares about you.
And I think from, it may have been whenever this was on Unsolved Mysteries that said it, but he was eventually, he either was or eventually was locked in solitary where he didn't even have access to paper and pens or paper and pencils at that time.
Right. So they put him in solitary confinement. They take away his paper. They take away his pens, his pencils. In solitary confinement at the prison I worked at, they weren't allowed to have real pens. They got suicide pens. You know what a suicide pen is?
No.
It's like a floppy, it looks like a baby flaccid robot dick. It's
okay,
like a pipe cleaner. It moves and bends like that, but it's got a really bendy tube of ink in it with like a Bic end on it, and that's what they use to write their letters in solitary confinement, so they don't kill themselves.
So they can't kill themselves or other people. Yeah,
suicide pen.
Right.
So he was stripped of everything when he was put in solitary confinement. But when I worked in the prison, they were still allowed to send one letter out a month when in solitary confinement, but they were checking his mail. He was sending mail,
right?
But they were checking it. They were reading it on the way out. They're open. That's a very common practice to check for gang leaders and whatnot to find out. Like to decipher the gang, like the crypto stuff, to decipher all their hieroglyphics and all that shit. They'll open up the mail, read it, close it, send it to whoever it's going to. But the town of Circleville was still receiving hundreds and thousands of letters from whoever the serial writer was, which was obviously not Paul at this point.
Right. And these, at the same time that these were going out, these were still being addressed, postmarked from Columbus, and he's in Lima.
Right.
Which is not in Columbus.
That's a good 2.5 hours away from one another.
Right.
So they thought that he was getting all these letters, that people were smuggling the letters out for him, which I promise some fucking fat white shit in solitary confinement is not getting hundreds of letters smuggled out
by
a guard or however they thought this was happening. But the sheriff from Circleville went to the warden and said, hey, this guy's still sending all these fucking nasty letters threatening to kill people. Do something with them. That's when he was put in solitary confinement.
Right.
Then the warden rebuttals and says, hey, I've got him locked up in a box. He's not doing anything.
Yeah.
These letters are not coming from this guy. And at this point, the warden, he assumes that Paul is innocent. But luckily, a warden can't just say, okay, you're free.
Yeah.
This is, you're innocent. You can go. That's not really how it works.
Nah.
Like we said, the letters did not stop. The letters were going to women, elderly, blacks, whites, all them. They were going to everyone, and they were violent. They were mean. They were nasty. This made it seem like an innocent man was incarcerated for no reason. Eventually, Paul went for his parole hearing, and you're thinking in your mind, okay, this innocent guy, he's going to get out. He's going to go free. No, the parole board, they have none of his shit.
Nope, none of it at all.
He was denied parole.
Poor guy.
And they cited the reason for denying him parole was for all the fucked up letters he was still sending from prison.
Yeah, they're still accusing him of sending out the letters from prison.
Yes.
Because, of course, it couldn't have been somebody else.
Couldn't have been. And that's the thing. Once the ball gets rolling on something like this, and they say at the end of the story that there was probably likely more than 2 to 3 people writing these letters.
3 people,
but once, like if I don't like fucking Bill down the street and I see all these letters going around, I can say, okay, I can write Bill this nasty fucking letter. I've been waiting to tell Bill that I think his nuts smell like old fucking cheese my entire life, and I can finally tell him this.
Right.
So I'm going to send him a letter. He was denied parole, but 2 weeks after he was denied parole, Paul received a letter in the mail in prison.
It's a good one, too.
It says, this is verbatim, quote, it says, now when are you going to believe you aren't going to get out of there? I told you 2 years ago, when we set them up, they stay up. Don't you listen at all? And that kind of seems like there's a subliminal underlying message for me.
Right.
When, like it's almost like.
So obviously they're pointing out that, hey, we set you up.
Yes.
If you ask me what that sounds like, if someone's being set up and they say that you're going to stay set up, that could possibly be police involvement.
Yeah, and there was a lot of rumors that the sheriff was undoubtedly, he was covering some stuff up.
Right. Or it's a bigger organization that has nothing else to do but pick on people in Circleville.
Round town.
Is it the Illuminati?
Pound town, baby.
Is it rival? Like Illuminati's a triangle. Maybe Circleville's they're rivals because they're circles.
Okay, I see what you did there.
There you go.
But after 10 years in prison, Paul was released. He went to the parole board. And they said, okay, maybe you're not the guy writing this shit. We're going to let you go.
10 years.
For potentially
writing
nothing.
letters. Yeah.
Potentially nothing.
Yeah.
There has been some new evidence lately. There's a journalist by the name of Martin Yant.
Mr. Yant. Yep.
Mary Gillespie told the sheriff one of the other bus drivers told her that she had been driving that same road about 20 minutes before Mary Gillespie found that booby trap at exactly that site. And when she went by that very same intersection, there was a yellow El Camino parked there.
What a sexy car.
Yeah. I mean,
what a sexy car.
Listen, babe, you trying to talk to me in the front, say you trying to get in the bed of this thing and just fuck it out. What are you trying to do right now? Because this is a car with a truck bed on it, and all I do is fuck and cash fucking checks, baby. Get in the back, okay? I put the tailgate down.
Perfect for hauling around fat chicks.
Which I love them all.
Hey,
I love them and I'll leave them.
More of them to love.
A large man with sandy hair was standing there. When he saw her come, he came too.
What a gentleman.
When he saw her come, he turned around and acted like he was going to the bathroom or something, but seemed also to be avoiding any kind of identification. The description of this individual does not fit Paul Freshour at all. Paul had a very solid alibi for this time. There was no attempt at all to follow up on that lead, and if they had, as I say, they would have found that another possible suspect in the case had a brother who had a yellow El Camino. Dun, dun, dun. And I think, I don't have it right in front of me, but there was Paul's, he got a divorce.
Yeah.
And then his ex-wife got a boyfriend, and that boyfriend drove a yellow El Camino. Normally, a divorce does not go very well, and the separate parties, in most instances, fucking hate each other's guts.
Oh, yeah.
They want each other to die.
They were getting a divorce after all.
Right. So, I would have to imagine that would have to play into what was going on. Like, maybe he set up the booby trap.
Right.
In order to set up Paul, because they knew that the sheriff essentially had Paul dead to rights already and he was judge and jury and had his mind made up. So they said, we can do this and get him sent away. Now, there were also, he cited possibly 3 additional suspects in this case. We got the son of the superintendent, who was very much up in arms about all of this.
Right.
Said he could have did it. And there was a co-worker that was infatuated with Mary, quite contrary. And then Paul's ex-wife, obviously.
Now, do you remember the superintendent's son's name? The reason I ask is because I believe that I don't have it in my notes right here in front of me, but I believe his name was like William or Will or something. And a lot of the original letters that were sent out, some of them did have actual signature markings, and they were always, like the ones that were signed were always signed with a W.
Oh,
so
I didn't know that.
Yeah. His name might not be Will, but it was a W name.
Okay.
So,
and to go a little deeper with the suspects here, there was the co-worker that was infatuated with Mary. So this guy that was infatuated with Mary, they said that there was possibly an incident where he walked in on Mary and the superintendent, the shitty kitty just getting beat up, and he walked in on that, and it crushed him. So this is when he started this, like, fucking, he broke loose, he lost his mind, he fled town because he was under investigation for raping an 11-year-old. He fled to Texas, he committed suicide in Texas, and when that gentleman committed suicide, which, God, not rest his soul.
See you later.
Fucking
later, dude.
Peace out, dude.
Yeah.
Fucking kill yourself.
Mm-hmm.
After he killed himself, the letters ceased immediately. It was
completely
done.
Yeah.
Which is kind of, I don't know. Is it a coincidence? What is it?
Who knows?
Who knows? There was a message sent to the TV show Unsolved Mysteries, which aired an episode covering the phenomena on November 11th, 1994. The letter was received at the offices, and I'll let you read what that letter said, Rob.
It's in the same normal writing. You can actually see the letter online, exactly the way that it arrived to, which is pretty cool. It says, "Forget Circleville, Ohio. If you come to Ohio, you El Sickos will pay." And it was signed the Circleville writer.
You fucking El Sickos.
You El Sickos.
It sounds like a fucking dumbass wrote that. Someone that definitely just got done drinking about 16 Zimas with their ass.
Way too many. You El Sickos.
Hey guys, everyone sit down. I got a fucking idea. I'm going to write a fucking letter to Unsolved Mysteries because I'm fucking sick of this shit. And it's still, to this day, it's completely, it's unknown.
It's still unsolved.
Where, I mean, someone did time for it. I shouldn't say that. Paul was never convicted of sending the fucking letters. He was just convicted of the attempted murder and the fucking mayhem he did with the booby trap. So that's the end of the Circleville Letters.
Yeah, and Paul there, old Mr. Freshour, he did actually passed away back in 2012. So that even if he was the person that was doing it, even though the letters and everything had already stopped, he's already gone.
And Circleville, they've snapped back to reality. Everything's back to normal operations there.
Yeah, peachy.
And this is a very mysterious episode.
Yeah,
fun story.
If you know who the Circleville writer is.
If you know who the Circleville writer is, you can call us at 1-800. We don't give a fuck because everyone involved is dead. I tried to find Mary Gillespie. Wouldn't work.
Yeah.
Tried to find Paul Freshour.
Those school buses aren't going to drive themselves.
Fucking dead.
Fucking dead. We found him, but he's dead as fuck.
He's dead. God rest his soul.
R.I.P.
Now, if you like the Ohio Podcast Show, hop on iTunes.
I don't know why you would, but...
Go, right. I fucking hate it. It's a huge burden. I don't like taking the time to do this.
We're lying.
We appreciate you guys so much.
Thank you guys very much.
It's been incredible, the reception we received in the short time we've done this.
5-star reviews, guys.
Yeah.
If you're going to go on there and leave a 1-star review, well, fucking don't do it.
Yeah, please don't do that. That's hateful. That's nasty. There's we're living in a world where we're trying to weed out bullying.
Mm-hmm.
That's bullying when you leave us a 1-star review.
And it hurts.
It hurts. I go upstairs and I thump my dummy because it's his fault that this happens to me.
Every time we get a 1-star review, we have to hit our wives.
Yeah. And
they're tired of it.
Step on our dogs.
Yeah. So just think about that when you do that.
Think about our wives. I think our wives are going to be on a Patreon episode too.
That's going to be great.
Yeah. And
if you're not a patron, hop on that.
Hop on there. Patreon.com/Brohio podcast. Thanks for listening, guys.
We love you guys. Thank you very much.
So much.
Bye.
Please send us pictures of your dicks. Thank you.
And real quick, we usually don't have any idea what we're doing for our next couple weeks. We kind of just figure out, like we said, we usually make a big beeline and like a big U-turn and mess everything up. But next week, we are going to do an episode on listener paranormal stories. So if you have, or if you know someone that has a nice, spoopy, sexy ghost story that you've experienced, let us know. We'll give you a shout out. We'll put it in our episode. It's going to be a fun one.
I think, honestly, checking through all the emails and stuff, we probably have enough for now.
We have a lot.
Yeah.
But just in case, if you haven't written us before, here's your chance.
Yeah, send us your scariest stories. Don't send us the one where, like, I was upstairs and I heard a piece of wood fall over in my mom and dad's room. That was your dad.
They were just fucking.
They were tearing into it. He was making you a fucking retarded sister.
Yeah, if you got a good one, let us know. It's going to be a good episode.
Yes, we love you.
Thank you guys.
Send us pictures of your dicks.
Yeah, still. Thank you.